Hey everybody, welcome back to Staying Kingdom Minded. So my name is Amanda. If you're new here, I would love to have you consider subscribing and joining our Kingdom crew. So I made a few videos on modesty on my channel before, and today I feel led to share about modesty with you again. If you would like to see the other videos, I created a playlist and it's in the description box below, so feel free to check those out when you're done with this one. So today I feel like the Lord is just wanting me to share with you a bit of a story, and I hope that you can hear me with the wind and all the many wonderful background noises of the outdoor recording studio I find myself in today. So I want to tell you a story about a woman and a little girl. Bear with me. At the very end, you're going to understand how modesty changed my life forever. Okay, so a little girl grows up in a world. She watches TV shows and she goes to school and she watches the girls at school and how they show up in cute, trendy clothes. Sometimes their shorts are a little shorter than they probably should be, and sometimes necklines show a little bit too much than probably should be shown at her age. But she grows up and she looks on these other girls, and soon ladies, and soon women, and she sees the attention that these other women get by showing a little bit more than maybe one would say should be shown. But the little girl longs to fit in, and she longs to be like the other girls, to have all the attention. See, the little girl is from a broken home. The little girl didn't really ever feel like she fit in a whole lot of places. The little girl was longing for attention. She wanted to be accepted. And at the end of the day, the little girl just wanted to be loved. But she knew that she could get all of this really fun attention, and it always seemed like the other women were having such a great time. They would go out together, they were dressed very seductively, and they really just, their Facebook posts and their Instagram stories, and they laughed, and everything just looked so amazing for this little girl who was now a woman. Let's talk about the woman. The woman found herself in situations that she'd never dreamed she would ever be in. Because as the little girl turned into a woman, she began to make choices because she had an emptiness in her heart. She had an emptiness, and she felt all alone in a room surrounded by people. The little girl that turned into a woman found herself making decisions that she would have never dreamed that she could make. Rejecting people who really, just like her, only wanted to be loved because they weren't cool enough. They didn't fit the mold. She found herself in one relationship to another. Sadly, she found herself in one failed marriage after another. Soon, where a little girl once stood was a broken woman with multiple failed marriages, several children by multiple different men. Once where a little girl stood, now was a woman who was shattered and broken and devastated in a world surrounded by people who told her, if only you looked like her, if only you dressed like her, if only you went out and partied like she did, you would fit in and you would feel lovely. But the girl who was once so little and so fragile, who grew into an amazing woman that had never truly known her worth, looked into the mirror one day, and broken and hopeless and shattered in a million pieces, this woman finally embraced who she was, why she had a life, what her purpose was, and what her calling was. She slowly discovered that being a modest woman who lived for God and covering up the parts that are called to be covered and exposing the genuine truth of who God is and how he can take the desires of a little girl who grew into a woman and make a beautiful, modest masterpiece. I encourage you to get out a mirror and look at it today and ask yourselves, are you making modest choices from the heart with a true and sincere desire to share Jesus with the world? Are you being modest? Are you covering up not only your outside, but are you revealing your true self to God and allowing Him to expose the things in your life that need to be gone? Ladies, there are some things that we have carried with us from being a little girl and into womanhood that we need to rid ourselves of. Those preconceived notions that say you've got to look this way, dress this way, act this way, and do these things, because those are the lies that the world would want you to believe. And today I am calling as deep calls to deep from one little girl who was broken and shattered, who grew into a modest woman of God, to another. I'm in your corner, I have your back, and I believe in you, and we can live this modest life together. I pray that this video and this story, I was the little girl and I am now the woman, I pray that it blessed you and it finds you well. Consider subscribing and joining our online family. And don't forget, wherever you are and in all things, like dealing with an outside recording studio and all that comes with it, to stay kingdom-minded, girls. And remember, there once was a little girl, and now stands a brave, modest woman of God. You are that woman too. Stay kingdom-minded, and I will see you in the next video.